Welcome everybody to the live from the parts unknown. It's a Claus and Clem show with your boy Clem and your boy Claus. We're back again. New episode. Let's get right into it. Let me get into my socials real quick. Let me get right into it. For people who are looking on my socials, Facebook, Clem CLE AKUFO 248. That's on the Facebook. The Twitter is Clem CLEM AKUFO. The same with Facebook. That's pretty much it for socials. Let's get to the news. When it comes to Catfight news, a little bit of news. As everybody knows, Alexa Brooke and Brooke G are going at it on November 28th for Tillytown. And the special news in that one is we have a special guest referee in that one.
Really? Who is it?
Yes, it's no other than Miss Lyric Lane. It was announced yesterday by my guy Adam. Posted it on email. So if you have that's incentive for you people to actually go sponsor it. Now you know that we have a special guest referee now.
Now, let me ask you this. As someone
Go
who
ahead.
grew up in the old NWA and WCW and AWA days, does a special guest referee at any time can insert herself into the match or make a handicap, or is it just a thing or like say as soon as the match is over, then she can cash in something like a Money in the Bank, you know, and
According to
her
what
own shenanigans, or
yeah, according to what I've been told, none of the shenanigans, none of the insert themselves. It's just there to enforce the rules and make sure the ladies follow the rules. The girls
oh,
follow the rules. That's what I
okay,
was told. But
okay, so
but then again, but
special
then
effect.
again, Claus. But then again, who knows? We are talking about lyrics, so it's kind of hard to say. We'll
Uh,
see. But that will give people incentive. So people contact Tilly McReese. It will cost you $50 via PayPal. Make sure you get it before Saturday. The deadline, you gotta have it way before the deadline. The deadline's probably gonna be Friday around midnight Eastern time.
okay.
Midnight. And the good thing about this is, as anybody who's had JC meet or been in Tillytown, you know that you're gonna get behind the scenes stuff, the before stuff, and you're gonna get the fight. So, and that's the coolest part about it. And as sponsors, you also get the fight 2 weeks before it even goes on Clips for sale. So there's that also. So that's that. Uh, Other news that is not Cat 5 related. Sarah Brooke, as we all know, had her birthday last week. She had Alexa Brooke on her company, Women's Mount Wrestling. They posted some pictures of the two of them together. So there's that. If you're
Okay.
interested in that.
Okay.
Like I said, when it comes to the news, there's not much news really. Let's be serious. We had a lot of nothing. But that's all I got for the news. Very short today.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I noticed also in the Twitter world, sweet fights. I know there's been some rumblings about there may be a shutdown again. I don't know if you want to call it COVID related or
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I saw that. So I know that would be a great loss to the industry as a whole. But I know that's something. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. People try to work hard as a producer and being a producer myself to help try to bring matches together, and you have some stuff to be out of your control, or not to mention the piracy when you have um, that whole thing. That's a whole nother ball of wax. It's almost like nowadays it's almost accepted because I remember when you used to have the bootleg CDs and stuff in the car and all of that, and now with digital, it can just take so many forms. It's crazy. So like the stuff of like say like Pornhub or X videos or whoever that's out there. I wish there was some kind of way where it's like whatever the ad traffic or revenue or whatever be a ballpark number that can go to the producers, or something. There's ways it can be done. It's just a matter of everyone coming to the table and trying to have some kind of cohesion because of just letting it just run amok. Because I know as a producer, sometimes it's tiring having to keep going. Okay, it's almost like you have to be a bad cop. You have to go, all right, let's go, let's make a sweep through, to see who's out there acting the fool. And then especially if you're a smaller producer like myself, personally like everyone who bought your copies. So to see it get sent out, that means I know it can only be X number of people. So that's the last thing you want to do is get to the point where you're looking crazy or side-eyed at your customer base. Okay, you is every fight the greatest fight in the world? No, I know there's some fights that that for some people they love it, they think it's the greatest thing ever, and then for some they be like, it's a dud. There's, I mean, we could sit here and wax poetic as we may do one episode in the future on ranking our top actual cat fights of all time. And we can sit here and just wax poetic of actual individual matches throughout. I know one that comes to mind, Andy and Michelle with Crystal Films, which I still think is the gold standard, like that had everything in it. And I know some ENCW fights, especially towards the end with Brooke. From ECNWC, I think is another one.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's some stuff that's out there, but it's what it is. From a producer standpoint, it's not a good feeling when you put a lot of work into trying to put stuff out there, and the next thing you know is 9 million places or whatever,
So Sweet Fights is shutting down because of people pirating his videos that you saying?
A matter of fact, I'll just let me go ahead and.
This is news to me. I have to admit, this is news to me. I haven't read this.
Matter of fact, I will. Let me see if I can do the screen sharing thing. I can to bring it up. Okay, I got iTunes trying to kick in. No, I don't want that. Yeah, so now again, I don't know how. I mean, it is the internet, so as what everything that we have, but just going off of, let's see, go screen. Yep. And let me bring it in. Much concern here is Steve. Hold on. As Steve of Sweet Fights has said on FCF, I have no idea what FCF is. That he is quote unquote tapped out. There will be no more fights this year. He is tired of losing money and too many short fights. This is the sad situation. With all the hard work and expertise that he goes to, there must be a way. And I
by the way, Claus, FCF is free cat fights. Free cat fights. That's what that means.
Oh, free cat fights. Oh,
free
okay.
cat fights. It's just like Fed Life and all these other ones. These are like the cat fight or fetish message boards, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Where people do stuff from their real life stuff, basically.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what is it?
Oh yeah, I did read this. I'm sorry, I take it back. I did read this on free cat fights. Yeah. I don't know about the thing that was new is the number of fights part, because originally he was supposed to have Sarah Brooke fight somebody the same day as Alexa Brooke and Brooke G. That's what Sarah was saying on her Twitter account 2 weeks ago. She was answering somebody else, but I don't know.
So I'm trying to see if there's anything.
Oh, it will be under cat fight announcements.
So not producer announcements?
Not producer announcements. Keep going. I'll show you in a minute. Keep going. There you go. It's under cat fight. Yeah, it's under cat fights, cat fight websites and sources. That's what it's under. You'll see a thing that said next week fight, blah blah blah.
Oh my God, they got 12
pages. The lot, yeah, you're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to read. I think it's down to like I think it's 11 pages. On 11 pages where I think he said this.
Oh my God,
because it's long.
All right, well, like I said, obviously, we don't have the time or the forum.
No. We ain't got that much time, man.
We ain't got that much time. We ain't got that much time to go into it.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's sad that it looks like, I guess he's getting frustrated because all his fights lately have been shorter, I guess, than he wants it. He's been trying different formats. He's been trying like 35-minute rounds. He's been trying the 20-minute thing. He's been trying all of it. I guess it's not worth it for him anymore. That's what
Yeah,
it feels like.
as a producer, I had a bad. You have a bad one. You have a run. You can have ones like that where either fights and turn out to win like the one of the ones I had, where one of the last ones I did, where it was just like um it wasn't going to be to the level that I had hoped. It what it is, you know. Yeah, real life. Sometimes when real life come into the way of the finished world, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the stuff it can get thrown off kilter, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real life, and we have to deal with it. It's just a matter of do we adapt. But I can understand where the more and more you do it, and it's like it'd be like pulling teeth. And sometimes you just feel so tired, like I just can't do it today. You know, it's like like
Mm-hmm.
as the producer, you want to talk about like, look, I don't even want to shoot today. You know, I don't want to edit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it can get that way sometimes because when you pulling teeth, trying from everything from finding talent to then getting them trained and then getting them to show up and then doing the fight and then you got to distribute it and then you got to sell it and then you got to deal with the money and all of that. And so it can be a lot. It's definitely not for the faint. And not saying that Sweet Fights is one that's for the faint, but
Mm-mm.
it's just a matter of it's a lot, man. It really is a lot. And sometimes when because I think for all of us, you know, especially producers that get into it, I think all of us at some point we got into it because we loved it. We love the actual thing we're doing and being able to do it. I don't think from a producer standpoint, I don't think most of us got into this to get into it from the money. You know, I think for most
Mm.
of us, even if we just broke even, I think we're good. You know, or we left a legacy or left a mark, or you could say you produced this great classic fight that even after you long and gone, they will hold them in the annals of time. You know, and just to have your mark and you make it somewhere. I think that's pretty much for most of us. That's
Mhm.
kind of what we look at and where we go. But it's just it's what it is, man. That's what it is. Now for the fighters, you know you can tell the ones that's in it for the love because they want to do it and to get paid. Anything extra is just great. And then
Mhm.
you got the ones that you can tell that like, look, I'm just
Mhm.
here for the money and just like, and then like there's certain things that they'll do and or they'll realize they'll be like, you know what, this ain't worth it for me. I just ready to tap out and go home, take my money and go home. You know, um, and the ones you know that are like that are the ones where they'll ask like, what's the minimum they got to do? That's when you start realizing like, okay, you know, like the minimum you got to at least give me a 20-minute match. Anything less than that, you know. And then it's like, then they have to make that decision for themselves,
Mhm.
whether they're going to go through and push through and do it, or if they just want to be like, you know what, I'll just cut my losses. So
Mm.
it just depends. It just depends.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So um, that's pretty much it. We got on news. I know from the ranking system, the rankings hadn't changed or changed
Yeah,
much
it
because
still hasn't changed. But you know what? We might as well go right. We might as well run it right through again because it has not changed really. Because
right,
there haven't been no fights for about like a month now. I think the last fight we had was like October 24th.
yeah.
Nothing's changed since.
Which
Really.
right. Speaking of, have we talked about the Ivy Sherwood Bella fight? Did we talk
We
about that?
yeah, we talked about that one.
We did talk
We
about. Okay,
we
yeah,
talked about that one.
we talked about that when we talked about the
Paris and sexy wife one.
Paris and Sexy Wife one. Did we talk? Okay, yeah, we talked about it. And then we had the I know Alexa fought Jess.
Michelle. Yeah, she
Oh,
fought
Michelle.
Jez.
And then she
Yeah, she
fought
fought
Michelle.
Michelle.
And then she fought Michelle. Yeah. So
We talked
I
about
don't
that
think we
one.
did. We talk about Alexa Michelle.
Yeah, we didn't talk too much about it. It was a beatdown. Let's move on.
Right. Yeah. So it's just
It was
I think
3-0. So nothing
I
happened.
think for Alexa, she's definitely starting to find. I think she's established her identity in the groove, and
Yep.
I think Alexa it would definitely serve her well. But yeah, but we can go back through the list. Like I said,
Yep.
do
We
you
can
want to
go
go
right
eight
back.
to one or 1-8? I would,
Let's start from 8 and go to 1, man. We already know what the top 4 is. And then
okay, because 8 we had Paris.
yep, that's still the
At
same.
that, I know 7 we had Alexa Brooke.
Hmm.
6 we had Gia Love.
Hmm.
On that 5 we had Valor.
Yep.
4 we had Carrie Spectrum.
Yep.
3 we had Lyric. 2 we had Sexy Wife, and 1 we had Sarah Brooke.
And like you said 2 weeks ago, the top four, it figures itself out. You can put them in any order, like you said, for the top
Right,
four.
right. It's just for us, you know. And
Yeah, it depends. It depends on
I
who it is at the end. So it depends on
yeah,
the day.
I
It
think
depends on who the best is at that time. Go ahead.
for Paris, I think she's in danger of dropping out because, like I said, you
Yep.
have so many more girls that's coming into the fray. You're gonna have Brooke Gilly, you know, who
Yep.
she fought Paris already, and then Brooke fighting another one. It's almost like now that's gonna have to be on the list, you know, if she wins, if she's
Hmm.
successful against Alexa Brooke. Not only would she come into the list, where would she fit? And then she fit, who's kicking out? You know,
Oh,
you got
Paris.
Little Ram.
Yeah, yeah. The thing for me is, sorry to interrupt. For me, the thing is, yeah, I'll agree with you. Paris will definitely be off the list. Brooke has to be in front of Alexa if she beats her. I'm not ready to say Brooke's ahead of. Actually, I might even have Brooke ahead of Gia too, because Gia, like you said, she's fought them, but she hasn't won yet. And Brooke, if Brooke beat Alexa, that kind of is a big deal because Alexa is on our list.
Yes.
I would be inclined to drop Alexa to like 8. I don't think even if Alexa loses, I'm not going to drop her out. I'm gonna keep her in to
Right,
like
because
6.
what she did against Jess was no small feat, and then the thing with Michelle, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I just watched it just because of her. I didn't really watch it because of Michelle.
Right,
I knew she was going to beat
that's
Michelle.
when you know you've gotten good and you have an identity when you can sell a fight by yourself. Whereas, like in the beginning, when nobody knows you, it's like you have to kind of package the fight with either somebody that's known, more known, or you got two unknown, and the producer has been known for, like, say, Sweet Fight. Sweet Fights can bring in two people we've never heard of, but because that bar has been set, you know,
Hmm.
that we know we're going to get at least a good fight, you know, out of it or whatever. You
Hmm.
kind of know what you're going to get. Versus when you can establish an identity like Alexa Brooke, you know what kind of fight you're going to get, and then it becomes a matter of if she's going to be successful in her style against whoever. You
Yep.
know, that's when you, I think, can become another level where once you get to where people are buying the fight now because of you, not so much of who you fought. Now, granted, if you have somebody that folks feel like, you know, like we talked about Kerry Spectrum and Sarah Brooke, I think the whole internet will stop for that day, you know, or at least the fighting fetish internet will stop for that day because, you know, and maybe
Yeah.
even our special guests, when our special guests check in, our special guests, I mean, we knocking on wood, our special guests still be sober enough to come on there, but
By the way, guys, you're gonna have to wait for that one. We're not just gonna give out the name. You're gonna have
right,
to wait
we're
for
not
that.
going to disclose the name, so that way, you know, special guests. But even our special guests may check in and be like, okay, well, let me see this, then check this fight out. You know, just because it's one of those, it definitely would be legendary. Definitely
Hmm.
be something in the making.
Hmm.
Again, you know, it'd just be a matter of who would get the host company. I know there's been so much ad nauseum made of that. Should it go to a separate producer or somebody more neutral or whatever?
Yeah,
Whatever. These two girls, these two ladies are professionals. They'll work it out. If they want to make the fight happen,
they
they'll make
will.
it. They'll make it happen. You
They
know.
will make it happen, and
I
we will be
think
buying it,
right,
and we will be buying.
and I think they've seen enough traffic on Twitter, at least in the last month, since we
Yeah.
came out with our initial list. I
Yeah.
think almost in 5 days, almost a week ago, 5 days from now. But I think there's been enough traffic
Hmm.
to where they'll be okay. You know, let's go out and let's make this happen. So there's enough traffic where they know if they can make it together, the money will be there. That people will come and support. You know, regardless when and where it is.
Yeah,
Um,
as you know, the few days I asked, even I asked Carrie on the thing. I was surprised when I asked her, "Have you fought Sarah?" She shocked me by saying no, but she's impressed by Sarah, but she wants to talk to her woman to woman. So there's some interest in
yeah,
that.
right. So to do that, and also you got one of our guests from last week, Kyla, um,
Yep,
Reagan slash Kyla
Kyla.
Dante.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you know, when she jumps back into the fray, you know, I don't know if she's
yeah,
gonna go straight for the top or whatever. 'Cause the fact that she fought Sarah Brooke 4 times already is
yep,
just enough. She'll come off the fall list, and you know she'll be back in the active list. You
yeah.
know, But to me, Kyla right now is like if we was going to do a bunch of people that's like retired, that's just legends that no really real ranking or
Yeah,
whatever, like a Kyla, a Tilly, who of course will be on that list, a Carrie. Which Carrie's kind of in and out. Carrie on the act side for right now.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
just give it. I think for somebody like even like Carrie Spectrum, who the fought literally everybody under the sun.
yeah,
Um, these new
yeah.
girls that we have on the list as new meat, well, fresh meat, I guess, that can run those competitive juices, to see, hey, if I still
Possibly,
got it or I can still continue to do it. Um,
possibly.
because that's not lost on me. Everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have that.
True.
I'm trying to see what else. Who else will be on that list? Who used to do it? Like your Dragon Lilies, your Bella
Yeah,
Rossi's,
yeah. Bella
Daisy,
Rossi.
Daisy Ducati.
Yep,
Um, there was somebody I thought I said, man, they had done it. Even somebody like a Lady V, Vira,
yep,
or Vira,
yep,
somebody that's on the back end, or even Sha Renee or Renee from Sha Renee or Catfight Haven, and all
yep,
them girls that they had come through
yep,
Cashmere,
yep.
um,
Renee
Renee,
from
yeah,
Kappa Haven, definitely her. She's
yeah,
definitely on the retired list. My
yes,
goodness.
yes. But I mean, as far as like legends, that it's kind of
Yeah,
like
she's yeah. This
that.
it's a
It's
long
like,
list.
yeah, the what?
It would be a long list. We would have to take our time
Oh
with
yeah,
this
yeah,
list
yeah, yeah.
because there's a
Long.
lot of them.
Yeah, if we was trying to rank it on. Oh, that would be
And
that's
some of
just
them, are God bless their soul, passed away. That'll be on
right.
this list.
Right. Yes. God bless her soul. That's passed away. Yeah, but
There's a few.
to have somebody like even like Lady V, or maybe in the future episode we can have someone like her that can come on that
Yep,
remember the old days when
yep.
man you was just we didn't even have the internet to connect. You had to either
No.
phone call somebody or maybe send a letter
Yeah,
or
yep.
whatever. Yeah, we may
I
have
remember.
some folks here that don't understand what letters was and stamps. You know, or
Them.
whatever, or how they used to have to do the advertisements in the back of pro wrestling magazines just to get stuff out.
Right.
Maybe one day we can have one of them. I would be honored to have one
I
of
agree.
them join us. Like I said, or even what's the girl that did Holly from Catfighting Angel? I don't know if she's still around. Is she still with us?
Who? I don't
Holly
know.
from Catfighting Angel? I don't know.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
tell
It was
you.
like one
I
day
don't
it
know.
was I would say Catfighting Angel for me of all of the I mean, to me, the person I identified the most from a business standpoint, I think was Renee. And then like I have conversations with her, emails from back in the day,
Hmm.
and it's like as far as trying to set up my business and stuff, but as far as the look, the pizzazz, what the girls wore, and everything, I really loved Catfight Angel. CatfightAngel.com. I really loved this setup
I hear
because I
you.
thought the uniforms was 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 flirty and it was fun, it was sexy, and it was functional.
Hmm.
Those four. Because a
Yep.
lot of times you can wear something that's functional, but it doesn't look fun, it doesn't look flirty, it doesn't look sexy. It's just like, okay, you just
Mm-mm.
fine, you just got some on.
Yep.
Um, and then or is lacking one of those. So I thought they had a nice little blend of that, and then what each girl wore, the color scheme, how the skin it seemed to just pop on camera, and then their skills, the skills was pretty good, and they definitely could hold their own on the fight, and then the level of aggression I think was good enough to where most people can accept it. It was like I would say borderline. It wasn't all the way like complete like sex fights or whatever, where it was way on the other end where for some people that's like, oh, that's too hardcore. But I think it was just right on that line where if you want to be serious like UFC, whatever, blah blah blah, or like even like a fresh fight or something that was maybe a little bit more mainstream, but it was kind of like that fine line right down the middle to where it could pull fans from both sides, folks that be like, look, yeah, I'm serious, but they got skills, but they kind of have fun with it. All right, cool. And then the ones that may be like, look, they may be a little rough and tumble for me, but they still seem to have fun with it. There's a little flirty sexiness with it. I can go with that. For girls who may not be as skilled and like, look, I want to try it, but I don't know if I can get to that level. So, We coming up on about almost at the top of the hour, so
Yep.
our the special guest is still out there. The special guest said they was watching, and they was just checking in. I would like to see that. What we can do, Clem, if you want to, we can catch on a minute, catch our breath for a moment, and then we'll see our special guest is ready to check in. I'm hoping
Yep.
so. If not, then we're just gonna continue on.
Yeah.
All right,
Go ahead. Sounds good.
We will
Right
be
back.
back, and we'll make it a minute and a half. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Yep.
Hold on.
And we're back, everybody. We are back
Yeah.
from we are
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I am back with our special guest, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, distinguished members of the royal family, honorary members of the media, worldwide, ladies and gentlemen, Hans van der Kiel.
Here I am.
I don't have an applause button, but
Hey!
I'm trying to get the camera right. There
oh,
we go.
Oh, no problem, Hans. Take your time,
no,
man.
no problem,
Right.
no
Welcome to
So-
the what's the man said? Welcome to the unknown. I forgot the parts unknown. I'm
Parts
sorry.
Parts Unknown. Yeah, I saw that
Yes.
podcast of Parts Unknown.
That's
I
what
like that.
Yes,
That's
broadcast
what we're
live.
about. Welcome to parts unknown.
Yes,
All right,
broadcast.
we got a few questions for you, Hans. Go ahead,
All right.
Claus. I'll let you fire first.
Well, first of all, I was Hans. I completely called this the second week in a row. I got Clem off guard because he had no idea who was coming on.
I know, like this is cool. So I was just like, I got a DM tonight being like, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And like, yeah, I know you from my Instagram too. Like you followed
Yeah.
my shows, my secret shows that get deleted afterwards. So yeah.
Air quotes, secret shows.
Yes,
Okay.
the secret show. First thing I want to ask from a fan perspective, because like when we had on last week, we had Kyla, or Reagan, Kyla Jonte, Reagan. Some people know her, and we had Sasha Steele. We had Sasha Steele as
Sasha
well.
Steele, yeah.
Yes, and so one of the things we asked is like we always ask is like, what got you into wanting to do, and in your case, mixed wrestling or what have you? Because I know that's
Yep.
what you're more well known for.
Yep.
Well, I think it was kind of ingrained in me. Like I had no choice. Like I literally like I had to do this. So I was either going to be somebody who uh just did sessions all the time, but then I also have like a media background. It's just like, oh, like I I saw things growing up that I wanted to emulate and I wanted to there to be more of. And that's DWW, Danube Women's Wrestling.
Mhm.
Um, I liked what they did and I liked kind of like their spirit and stuff like that. And I wanted that to come to America. Like Europe and America are very different cultures, if you can believe that. They
Yeah.
are actually quite different. So, and I thought like that should be ported over here. And I always tell people like, what makes you decide to do videos that you do? And it's always kind of like I just make the stuff that I wanted to see more of. So I always I know the stuff that I want to see, and it's not being done, so I do it, and that's kind of how I'm into the industry.
Hmm.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah,
Wow.
Wow, and especially when you talk about
Wow.
DWW, I know my personal favorite group, and I had to introduce Clem to this was the Black Sea Amazons.
the Black Sea
I
Amazons, yeah,
believe to this
though
day
they
there
are
are
brutal.
no tougher women who ever walked the
Yep,
face of the earth than the Black Sea Amazons.
I got to tell you,
Those
lately,
girls.
lately I've been training with one of them. She's from Serbia.
Okay.
Her name is
Okay.
Natasha on Tempest, and she's been teaching me how to box, and like she's been like,
Mhm.
she's actually been like improving my my left and my right hook, and like telling me where I'm fucking up. But like she doesn't really like her wrestling is kind of like new to her. So we have this like really awesome trade where it's like I will teach you how to wrestle, you teach me how to box, but she's brutal, man. Like
Oh,
she is 6'2" from Serbia, and she's just like
Wow.
yeah,
There's
and
not very many tall women in any kind of sport. 6'2" is tall.
yeah, six
this-
6'2", yeah, and they did a Tempest actually did like a the funny thing is like cat fights and wrestling is kind of like they're sort of different
Mhm.
fan bases in a way. So like Sarah Brooke is like the top of like the cat fighting and stuff like that. And but like if you go to wrestling, there's like other people who are at the top,
wow.
Mhm.
and
Right.
it's very weird when you mix them, which some people have done. And but um where was I going with this?
Oh, take your time because you gave me an intro.
Well, I told you I'd
Anybody,
be tipsy
anybody,
because it's
yeah,
on the East
right.
Coast, so
Anybody have any questions for Hans? Go ahead and put it in your chat right now. The
Yes, yes.
legendary Hans. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Legendary.
Legendary. Oh yeah,
Legendary.
which gets me to so how did you meet up with Vivi Lane? We all know, yeah, that's an interesting one.
I met with Vivi Lane. So I met with Vivi Lane and Domains in general. So I moved to New York, and I knew that I was into this and stuff like that. And so Femwin did an event, and when Domains was in sort of their infancy,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had a live filming event, and I went to the live filming event as a customer, as I just wanted to watch it. But I had this again, this cursed media background where I know how to edit video, I know how to shoot video and stuff like that. And so the cameraman of the event had to leave halfway through the day. I was like, "Is there anyone who has experience with camera stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll step up." And that was how I got like ingratiated to Bill from Femwin, and then also like Domains was like, I mean, it was only like a few months before that they had like incorporated, and so they were super new, and yeah, so uh, I filmed all the rest of the matches for the day, and I wrestled Vivi Lane for the first time off camera. That was like my reward for filming for the day, and she was not as trained back then, so I did win that match. But I have lost most of the subsequent matches since then, so she can rest assured that she has avenged that one and then the one after that. And I beat her twice, in those early days when she was just like getting into it, and then now she's, I think it was 8-0 our last match, and I'm a little bit stunned from it, but I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to try to get better and stuff like that. So, that's how I met VB Lane and Do Maidens, and they are wonderful and awesome people to me and to everyone.
Oh yes,
So.
yes, man. We are so honored. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the great Hans van der Kiel. Yes, and so of course we have to ask top five. I know this is more of a comment. The top five that you have ever wrestled. Whether they're in the cat fight or they're in the mixed wrestling or whatever.
Or sessions in your case.
As far as that you have faced.
I will give you five. As far as the top five, I mean, there's different things, right? So, like, as I got into this, it became like, okay, so there's like top five competitive, and then there's top five sensual, there's top five like erotic wrestles and stuff like that. Like, everyone's into different things, and then there's top five connections, right? Like you
may enjoy, like, with this person, like you may think, oh well, I don't know how styles will mesh, and then you just get on the mat and magic just happens.
The magic that happens is like you ask the other person, like, what are you into? You ask the other person, it's like, what do you like? And those people tend to show up more in my store if you want to know the truth. So like someone like Constance, right? Like Constance is a really awesome person. Like, competitively, I could probably beat her every time, but she's kind of like let go of like her like what she's into. Inhibitions. Yeah. She's kind of like, she's always kind of been like, how do we mesh? How do we connect? And so she's someone who I always like line up to shoot with, because like I know it's going to be a great video, and like they always sell well. They always get like well reviewed and stuff like that. So so like I guess like top competitive, VV, definitely up there, if not number one. Probably number one. So Tone Tommy from back in the day. Bad Betty, Warrior Amazon, Des Desire, this will be up there, of course. And so that's the competitive, and then like sensual and like erotic, like that's like a different sort of competition. Jackie from Tempest is like pretty top notch. Like, yeah, she just kind of she's awesome. So yeah, I'll just say that.
Okay, how was it? Yeah. So how was it working? I think earlier, I think September, you had what was it called? I forgot. The event in Las Vegas. I forgot. Session Girls. How was it working with Jennifer Thomas?
Oh, working with Jennifer is great. Jennifer is one of the pillars of our industry. I feel like she's just an amazing person, and she has a way of like, she has a name too. Like, she has like a way of drawing everyone to each other, and then like figuring out how to work together and stuff like that. She is a beacon in this industry. I would call her that. So yeah, and almost to her detriment in a way, like I honestly feel like she would just rather be a session girl, but like she had greatness thrust upon her shoulders, and then she had to step up and kind of like be who she is. So yeah.
Did you ever wrestle the great Beatrice Golfin?
I did not. I wish I did.
Okay, because I wasn't sure, because I think Beatrice was exiting the stage, but I didn't know, like, say Nadej or Monica from overseas. because I think that's when I first started noticing, because I know you had Aaron Hurricane, you had Fatu that was out there at
Yep.
that time. You had the Great Rockwell. She was out
Mhm.
there.
I wrestled Raquel. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Right.
was like,
She
that was
was
on
tough.
really early on, because I was like,
I'll tell you.
I'm trying, because I've been a fan of the industry roughly. I came in as a fan, I want to say around '99, so that's right when, like I said, in that time frame where all of them was
I'll tell you the
Mhm.
one that
just
gets me.
running.
I'll tell you the one who I saw face to face, and I could have wrestled her at a party, or could have wrestled her anytime. It just didn't happen, and maybe it still could happen someday. That would be great. But the great Helen Bonmont, like I never wrestled her,
Wow,
met her face to
Wow.
face, had a lot of like
wow,
really great heart to heart with
Wow.
her, and it
oh,
was just I thought it would happen,
Helen Van Mont.
but it
okay,
didn't
wow,
it didn't happen, and it was just scheduling. That's all.
yeah.
So if you're like one of these people who's like, I have to wrestle this person, do it, because that would have been, that's the top feather in my cap. It's like I would love to have that experience, whether or not it's on video. On video, of course, it would be amazing. But like, just to have that experience, I never even had that experience. So I
Because
can't
that's
say the same
something.
about Raquel. Like I wrestled Raquel off camera. We don't have video together, but like we wrestled on off camera, and it was great. But you know,
But you have that experience, the memories of it, you know.
yeah,
Like one person, like one of our guests last week, Sasha Steele, we asked her, we like, have you ever wrestled Hans? Because it's like,
Yep.
if mix is, you have become, in my opinion, you have become that guy,
That
that
guy.
that 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 golden ticket. I got a golden ticket, you
I'm Willy
become,
Wonka, right?
yes, the Willy Wonka, like the Charlie, like you got a Charlie. But you're like that guy
I
in
do
the
love those
industry.
memes. I do love the Willy Wonka memes. Every Willy Wonka meme, Floyd.
Yes, yes,
Every meme is brilliant. So
yes.
yeah,
But you're that guy where it's like, for a lot of us that may not can physically do session wrestling, either due to health or physical issues, or cannot or can't do mixed matches. You're kind of like the guy that a lot of us like vicariously live through,
right.
because it's like you're like that every man that we can all kind of superimpose ourselves. Like if we were,
That
shoot,
was what
like
I wanted to do. That's why I wore the mask in the beginning. I was like, I don't want you to see a face. I want you to like put yourself in me,
yeah,
and
Mhm.
then the mask deteriorated. And I looked for other masks, and then like they were horrible, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna do not the mask. But that was like my original thing. I was just like, I wanted people to vicariously live through me, because I am at my base, like exactly one of you. I'm exactly like that guy.
you're a fan.
Like
Yeah,
I grew up on the internet in the '90s too. I had like
Yep.
internet. Well, I had like hidden. I found a hidden folder function before anyone else in my family, and I hid the stuff away. Like you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like
hmm
you have
Yeah.
hidden
We know what you
folders
mean.
on your computers. Yeah,
yes,
Yep.
on the
Yep.
shared family computer. This is a weird thing now, but like back then, it was just like, yeah, like I don't want people to find my shit, so I'm gonna like hide that away, or make it hidden. Like nobody knows how to do that yet. So
well,
Right.
yeah,
yeah. So it's one of those things that. So I asked Sasha, has she ever wrestled you? She was like, no, I've been to New York twice, and both times I've been, I never, the timing, like you
I'm
said, the
ducking her.
scheduling.
She's
Huh?
tough. She looks tough. I'm ducking her.
Oh, okay. Well, we were trying to make sure we block Sasha from seeing it. Now, who knows? She might come in. She might. She still got the link. She might chime in like, "Hey, I'm calling you out."
Yeah.
The next time
Yeah.
she come to New York, because she said she's coming. In a couple of months, hopefully post
Yeah.
pandemic, she'll be
Yeah.
Come on
Post.
down.
back in. Yeah.
Come on
So
down.
Yeah. That's what
to
she
to
said.
New York, to New York. Who? Yeah, I guess because he's such a legend, that kind of leads to my next follow up question. Who would be 5 people you have not wrestled that you would love to wrestle?
All
Mm.
right. Number one, Sheena,
Okay.
Ronda Rousey. Because of
Yeah. You
course
agree.
I have to like shoot for the stars. Why couldn't I? Holly Holm, and so that's three. Hey, Sasha Steele, because like we've had a connection through the internet that we have not gotten to experience on the mat yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. Oh, I actually can't pronounce her name, but she has like these like ridiculously huge thighs, and she's from uh, Bulgaria, I think. But like her name's like Bakarov or something like that. Like I see it on Instagram all the time. Oh, I another one. She is on Session Girls, and Michaela Visciano or something like that. But like she's like this like bodybuilder from South America, and she just doesn't give a fuck, and I love that. Like she's just like, oh yeah, I've got like hairy arms, and like she's awesome. So yeah, that was
Oh,
6 by my count.
Oh,
okay.
it's okay. Don't worry about it, man.
We
We
got
good.
a
By
six
my
pack. We
count.
got a six pack. We got a
Yeah.
six pack. Yeah. So, yeah, it was just one of those ones because I know when me and Clem like started a firestorm. Oh God,
Yes,
this
we
was about a
did.
month ago.
Yes, we did.
We
Oh
started
my.
a firestorm coming up with our like we call it the grade 8 because I told Clem I'd rather
The
have a
grade
grade
8?
8
Yeah.
than a so 10. So we
Yeah.
did a grade 8, top cat fighting list, and I think you listened to us earlier, so you heard the list as we
Yep.
went down with Sarah Brook and we were just talking about active, and then some people like a Carry Spectrum, whatever, they kind of like, you kind of in the legends kind of go where like you pop in and out, or whatever you feel like it. But it was like I think what ended up starting the firestorm was two things. One, with Mila, having her on the list and had that, and
Oh,
you had the fact that from I know Sweet Fights that she
Sweet
done,
Pies and
yeah,
Fat Pharaoh is the other one.
and Fat Farrah she had did some stuff with, but it's just one of those things that she had put in the work. It just now maybe the level of competition may have not been as volume
no,
maybe like a Sarah Brook or some of the other ones. But when she fought who she was in front of her, hey, she showed up and competed and won. But
yeah,
I know the two things that we caught a lot of flack for was one because people was talking about the order of the list. I told them I said look at it as a wrestling bracket. If one faced 8, two faced 7, three faced 6, four faced 5. Because when we did our original list, that's what actually ended up happening within 3 weeks. 3 of them actually met, or at least had come.
oh,
So it
interesting.
was like it's going to have. Now when you put in that construct, then people's like, oh, okay, we get it. But the international game, then people want to start throwing in Lakin,
Lincoln,
and Sativa Miss,
Sativa
Ivy
Miz.
Saturday,
Yep.
Yep.
Kim Lee, Amethyst, Hammerfist. You can get into a
Oh, I love
whole.
Amethyst.
Oh,
She's just like,
Pamela.
oh, by the way,
Bianca.
forget what I said about the top 5. She is number 1 because she
Who?
has
Amethyst?
gone on Amethyst Hammerfist. We've never
Oh.
met, but she went on a podcast before and said like I desperately want to fight Hans Vanderkill, and I wanted to do that, and it just didn't work out, and then like COVID and stuff like that. But like, yeah, I actually
I do remember the chatter. I do remember the chatter.
I depose everyone else and say like she is number 1. I want a match with Amethyst Hammerfist. I don't care what the style or the rules are. Like we can do like all of the styles, all of the rules. Like me and her have to
Make it
meet
an
in
Iron
person
Man,
and meet on
Iron
the
Woman
match.
match.
Yeah, this is just this is just like you have to meet your destiny, and like that is destiny. Like that
But
Yeah.
people don't know
that
what that
match.
means. He's referring to Final Destiny, the video game. People, that's what that
Yeah.
means.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
it was just some people just have that where they just pop out onto the screen. Like Amethyst has that
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
She literally like the look, the video. It's like when you just
The
look
look,
at
the
her, even when
personality,
she
her
was
words.
first starting out, and it was like you could see the greatness was on her. Like once she gets it, she's gonna be dangerous. It is
She
like
can
she
do
just had
whatever
that.
she wants, whenever she wants. She can come back whenever she wants. She's like Chris Jericho. Jericho can come back whenever he wants. You know what I mean? I
Yes,
Yes,
grew up
yes,
yes,
watching WWF
yes,
too.
yes,
You know, and like
yes.
yes.
yeah,
That's
every
a
time Chris
great
Jericho
analogy.
comes back, Like he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and he is a story for that next few weeks. Amethyst can come back whenever she wants, and she's a story. And that's like that's Mike's skills. That's personality. That's like
Yes.
Since you
whatever you
talk,
want to
yeah,
call it.
like since you went to WWE levels, who is your top 10 list of WWE fighters at all time, man? Since you went
All
over
time.
there,
Number
yes,
one, The Rock. Right, The Rock. Right,
interesting.
it's all guys on Mike's skills. So The Rock,
Ah,
Stone
okay.
Cold. Um, Top 10. That's a lot because all I can remember is ever five. Chris Jericho. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho wasn't. He was good on the mic, but
Mm-hmm.
like he was much better at making returns. He's much. He had a presence, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jericho had a
Yes.
presence. His mic
Mm-hmm.
skills were like they were good, but they weren't like on the level. So, Brother Love, you know, is a guy that you stood up and paid attention to. Like Rowdy Piper, um, these guys who are just like, as soon as they pick up a mic, you're captivated. You know, that
Road Dog was that for me when he picked up the
Road
mic.
Dog, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yes.
Yep.
yep.
Jesse James. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, you
Yes.
didn't know? Yeah,
Yes.
he was great.
Yeah.
He was a
Ladies and
roadie.
gentlemen, that's why I said my intro to you, I try to emulate, my best
Oh, the
Jesse.
Road Dog. Oh, I heard that a little bit. I was just like, wow, this is like a really good intro. Like, yeah,
Ladies and
some
gentlemen, children of all
I
ages.
yeah, children of all ages. It's like, am I really getting the Road Dog intro?
Yeah, so that's what
Yes.
So,
my skill.
yeah.
You know what? I think the Undertaker was not exactly one of my favorites growing up. We Brutus. But
He's
my
a legend, though.
favorite Undertaker was that 3 year stretch. I think when he was Big Evil, the whole rolling, 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 rolling
Yeah,
Yep.
I love
Undertaker.
that.
Yep.
I love that
Yep.
because that
Because
was
they
like the
let him
Undertaker.
talk.
That
They
was like
let
the
him
Undertaker.
talk on the mic.
They
Yeah,
did.
And
They
the
finally let him
trash
talk.
and
The
the
man didn't talk for
trash he would
years.
say. I was like,
Yep.
Taker actually can talk and
Talk.
go with
yep,
the best of them. I was
Yep.
like, okay, Taker's mic skill. Because up until then, Paul Bearer and somebody's always talking for Taker. So to let Taker talk on his own, like this is my yard, driving around in the motor shop and the
Yep.
chopper, and it
Yep.
was like I was so happy they let that Taker because the 20 holes for 20 souls, talking about when it was Royal Rumble, it's like, but then when it's like they went back to the other, I was like, yeah, okay, Taker can't talk.
the
I'm
thing I
like,
like about
damn.
that in a kayfabe sort of way, it was like you got to see Taker like before he died in a way. You got to see
Mm.
like it was kind of like this was the guy who died, the biker and stuff like that, and then he became like the Undertaker and stuff like that. And then you got the other side of it was you got to see why this guy was a leader behind the locker room. He
Mm.
was judge, jury, and executioner. Even Vince McMahon had like qualms about crossing him. Like
Well,
Mm-hmm.
he was the heart and soul of the like the stories are legendary where wrestlers have been grievances and like the judge was the Undertaker. And like
oh,
how like
Undertaker said y'all gonna have a match, and then whatever happens, all right.
no, the
And then,
Undertaker's just like, I'm sorry, but you are wrong, and you will rest in peace. Like that was what it was like. Apparently, behind the locker room, for everybody looked at the Undertaker as the judge
Mm.
because like, and even Vince McMahon looked at him that way as well. Like there was nobody who had higher clout than the
Mm.
Undertaker, even though he
Mm.
was not the boss, even though he could be fired and stuff like that. But like it was just like that guy was the leader in the locker room,
Mm.
and
you
you
need
know
that guy. You need that guy.
you need that guy. You need that
Before
guy
it
who
was
was just
Triple
like
H, like which now because he's executive vice president of
yeah.
talent, live and creative, it was really Taker.
It was
Say
really
what you
Taker.
want.
Nobody fucked with the Taker. Like like Triple H. Like you could say like oh like he's married to the boss's daughter and stuff like that. Like
Yep.
Taker was just like a guy. He was just like a guy in the back of the locker room who would hold you accountable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like he was a guy who was just like, hey, listen, your bullshit is not gonna fly with me. So you better
Right.
have a good case. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's why he had a 21-0 streak, because he was a leader in the locker room,
Yep.
and nobody wanted to take that away from him. Like everybody respected him, and that's why his longevity was what. That's why he's a dead man. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So you got so many folks with mic skills and so many folks that put it all together.
Yeah.
I had a roommate that was a diehard Bret Hart fan. Bret Hart and
Yep.
Sting. That was his two.
Yep.
You
Bret
know.
Hart. Bret Hart.
Bret
It's,
Hart. Oh my God. What a
Yeah.
fighting
talent.
champion. Every time TV was on, Bret Hart was gonna fight. Like
Yep.
what the fight? The
Yep.
fighting champion. Yeah.
Yep.
I grew up Dr. Dusty Williams, the Rock and Roll Express. The Road Warriors before they became the Legion of Doom. I was a
Yep.
tag team
Yep.
guy, so I grew up in tag teams, and tag teams was the thing. And the thing, I guess, because I didn't have any brothers or whatever, so that's why I was always like, I need a tag team partner. So I never saw myself as a single guy. I said, I got to be a tag team guy, and I hated
Yeah.
the death of. It was like there was this one stretch where WWE went like 3 pay-per-views without a tag team championship being defended at all. And I was like, oh my God, I'm like, what are we doing? What are we
Yeah.
doing? Because there was one stretch, I want to say it was, oh God, it was like 2003 to like 2008. Like you had so many tag teams. You had the Rock and Sock Connection. You had the Two-Man Power Trip. You had the Brothers of Destruction. You had Edge and Christian. You had
Mhm.
Right to Censor. You
So
had
many good tag teams, man.
Degeneration X. You had
Yep.
Kai and Ty. You had
Kai and Ty.
3 Minute Warning. You,
Yep.
you
All
had
of
the
them.
Bushwhackers. I mean, you had
The
The
Bushwhackers.
Dudley Brothers.
Every
so
time the
many.
Bushwhackers come out, they throw you out of the ring. That's what
The
Right.
they do.
You
Bushwhackers.
had
The
like
Dudley Brothers.
you had
Ridiculous. Harlem
Latino
Heat.
Heat. Yeah,
Harlem Heat, yeah.
Harlem
Heat.
Heat was earlier. But I'm
I
talking
know.
about Latino Heat. Like all
Yep.
in the you had the America's Greatest Tag Team, which
Yep.
was Shelton Benjamin and Coach and Haas, Charlie Haas.
Charlie
You
Haas.
had
Yep.
you had the Goldust and Booker T. What was their tag team name?
Shattered Dreams, man.
Yeah,
I think.
so I
Shattered
mean
Dreams.
I think
and
so.
then you had the Job Squad, with
Yeah.
Al Snow and the
That was
Blue
great,
Meanie,
yeah.
and then you had the
There's so
Holly.
much like tag team stuff out there. They just didn't put it like in the main event.
Yeah.
Like it used to be
Exactly.
like the
Exactly.
main event was the WWF Championship, and then the second main event was the Tag Team Championship. I remember Legion of Doom versus Demolition. That was
Yep.
like that was the heyday of the Tag Team Championship.
And I didn't even say the Hardy Boys.
The
I didn't
Hardy
say
Boys.
the Dudley
Oh,
Boys. I didn't.
Yep.
you know what
And
my
then-
favorite videos is? Like when the Hardy Boys come back at WrestleMania and like Matt Hardy has his broken gimmick and Jeff Hardy's there as well, and the New Day introduces them and like
Yes.
nobody knows that they're coming out. It's like, hey, so there's one more tag team, and like it's
is
the
it?
biggest
Who?
pop
Who?
in
Who?
WWF history. It's like who? Yeah,
Who?
who? And then they step aside, and the Hardy Boys come out, and Matt Hardy
And
has his broken gimmick, which was like probably a legal nightmare, but it was amazing, and like the pop was just like, and the ramp was 30 miles long because it
and
was
everybody was like,
WrestleMania.
I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's like,
Yeah.
So my birthday
you
always
got time
falls.
to take it in. You
Yeah,
got time to take it in when they're in.
My birthday falls around the Royal Rumble, so the Royal Rumble, there's usually somebody that comes out that we ain't seen and God knows when, or it was on the injured list and we was thinking they'd never come back. Like when John Cena came in as number 30 in New York City, and
New York City.
he got number 30, he comes out, I was like, oh, here we go. We were like, Cena's back.
There we
oh
go.
my God.
Royal Rumble's great for returns, so
Yeah, so like I said, let me see what else we got on our question. So it was like, well, I was asked who's the toughest opponent he've ever had, but
we know the answer to that one already. He told us.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah,
I said it. I know my number one, my number one mark, the number one, like it's Vivi Lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one who I want to beat on video because I beat her. The first 2 times I wrestled her. I beat her. And then she got all that training and she got all uppity.
It's been over. Because I remember when I saw the match where BB Lane fought Beatrice Goffin, and that was, now granted, it was a Dustin, but that was a really young BB Lane.
Yeah.
A really young BB Lane.
He probably had no hair, right? Like it was like the no hair BB Lane.
Yeah, so it was a really young BB Lane, but it was just that she held on. See, it was like you could tell the greatness again, like Amethyst. You could tell that greatness was going to be there,
Yep.
but it's just that Beatrice had all about, and Beatrice was on kind of the back end of her career, but Beatrice was still good enough, as Beatrice. So, but man, oh my God, like I said, we thank you so much for joining. Now I know. Let's see, Clem, like I said, bottom of the hour, so we're gonna sign off with our guests, and then we probably gonna sidebar a little bit.
Oh yeah, you definitely sidebar.
Let's do a sidebar.
Yeah, we're gonna sidebar.
We're gonna sidebar
After the stream. Now, for those that want to follow you, where can they buy your merch, your Twitter, how they can get in contact and all of that?
Plug your socials, my brother.
Well, I'll tell you what. You go to Hans Vanderkill. That's HANZ, not an S. VANDERKILL. So that's my Twitter and my Instagram, which I'm getting better at. I've really been really shitty about that. I started an Instagram under the same name, and it's gotten a lot of followers, and I don't really put a lot of content on there, and that's great. So and then there's OnlyFans that's on my Twitter, and hansvanderkill.com. There is something there, but it's password protected for now. And then that's about it. That's all I got.
Everybody, thank you for watching the show tonight. Thank you.
Also, the after hours sessions podcast as well. We should all be friends. Like we should be like we should totally be friends. Like this should be like sister shows. Like absolutely. And like people come on there should come on here. And
That's
actually,
we're gonna talk to you about that in a second. We're gonna talk to you about
that. Let's talk about that because I think
we'll talk about
there's
that.
like an alliance here, a tag team.
Yes. All right. Six-man tag team. Six-man tag team. Clem, put your social and the folks can reach you.
Oh, my socials is Clem CLEMAKUFO on Facebook. Same thing on Twitter and same thing on Facebook.
And as always, Deacon Payne, you can always reach me by prayer. But it's at Clausweb, CLAWSWEB on Instagram and Twitter. I used to do the Facebook thing, but that got pulled now. I still got an account, but I don't use it much, other than the DM folks. But as you always, you can find us the Clem and Claw Show here every Monday night here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we always hope to bring you special guests. And we're working on next week's guest already. So
yes, we are.
Yeah. So
tune into the show, guys. Tune into the show. It's a guest. It's a special surprise. We can't give it away. Yes. Sorry.
So we have on YouTube and we have it also on Periscope, Instagram right now. It won't let us stream on there. That's a whole other matter. But right now we're on YouTube and Instagram. Check in, and we look forward to seeing you in comments and DM us. And if you have any show ideas, and then until next time from Parts Unknown, peace.
Have a good night.